leadership within directorates, leadership within teams, and about the individual and their behaviour. There are a lot of web-based training. There's a stand downstairs. Again, it's open access to the NHS about e-learning. Tells them all about infection control. The HPA has produced a DVD. It's on the website, and these can be accessed, etc. There's good programs in Dundee that are available on antimicrobial prescribing. But a good leader shows the juniors the way and the direction. I think this is what needs to be strengthened. The second part of it is trusts need to recognise that this training takes time. Junior doctors these days, when I trained, it was 6 months of this and 6 months of that, and you were on to the next one. These days, they're on a 4-monthly rotation across 2 years. Some time needs to be taken out, dedicated to provide that mandatory training that is so important. Because I agree, if you're not competent to do a job, then you shouldn't be doing it. We're talking about patient safety, etc., and that is the most important thing that's required. But again, as has been mentioned, people are frightened. Both patients are frightened and juniors are frightened to say when things are not going right, when things are affecting them as well. I think we've got to break out of this culture. Leadership, strong leadership at the top, and I've seen some of this at various meetings, etc. People who have done this action. You can see it. You have to just go to the websites and see which hospitals have made the greatest difference in MRSA and have got down to 80% reduction, and the C. diff that has gone down immediately at 60% within 12 months. You've got to see those hospitals that have made that action and make it happen. But the other point hidden behind what you were saying is how good are we at exchanging good practice and good information. And again, we need to get better at that. Exchanging these lessons that are learned shouldn't be published in a healthcare commission report or a CQC report. These should be the NHS sharing these informations to say these interventions have worked on our part, etc. There's a lot of big norovirus activity going on at the moment. What are the things? Did the ward actually close? These are important issues. We know how to control it. It's not difficult. You have a look at the 1994 document on C. diff, and you look at the North Manchester outbreak paper, and look at the interventions of C. diff on there. There's no new technology there to say this is the way to control C. diff. We've had that knowledge for the last 20 years. It's actually implementing it and making it happen. And these reports have been published, but we need to actually look at those reports and say, what's the learning, and transfer that knowledge. We're not good at that, and we need to get better.
Could I just come in with an example which really got me annoyed? That in 1964 we had a typhoid outbreak in Aberdeen, 500 cases. Only in Aberdeen would you get 500 sliced out of a can of corned beef, which was the causative organism, which is the way the organism was transmitted. But there was a report done in 1964, and it recommended that there should be advice given about disinfectants and sanitizers used in food premises and so on, so that guidance could be given to those who are inspecting them, that the owner of the premises was using the right antimicrobial, the right bactericidal substance. Well, that recommendation was in the report I published last year on the E. coli outbreak in South Wales. It hasn't been implemented yet. So I'm slightly negative about my optimism about learning lessons. We really just got to get on with it. And I would agree absolutely that we can have endless reports and so on going out there, brilliant documents. Those who read them are usually the people who don't need to read them because they're already interested in it. It's getting those documents and the lessons in them to the people who need them, who are not interested. That's the big challenge.
Okay. Just in answer to that lady there regarding the training you said about your students and your complaints. The training, I answered that before when I was saying about working with someone with the experience to know how to train someone. Sometimes people who have good experience aren't very good trainers. They're just not cut out to do that. But you get someone who is, and you should nurture that person to train that person, and then watch to see if they pick up habits, shadow the student and see if they pick up the habits and point it out to them that they're picking up habits that really aren't professional. With regard to the complaints, it's surprising how patients feel terrified to make a complaint. Think about this. When a patient makes a complaint, it's not a complaint. It's a free consultation. You'll pay a fortune to bring big business in to find out where you're going wrong, and your patients are telling you all the time, and it's free. So use it as a free consultation. Advise, encourage your patients to give you that information. Say to them, if you see anything you're not happy with, or is there anything we can improve, tell us. Because I did that in my industry.
But
And our customers love it now.
yeah. And to come in on that, you know, I was advising a hospital yesterday. C. diff problem, etc., and it could be any other problem. Did they get it down to the T to say, is it really happening at the front line? These recommendations, these care bundles, the guidance, is it happening at the front line? You know, 48-hour review on antibiotic, IV to oral switch, 3 to 5 days, etc. Is that happening on a ward round, on a team, on every single ward? Yeah, it's just basic to say these are the things. I'm gonna go from here. I know what I have to do. I've got to pick up my coat. I've got to make sure I've got the pass in my pocket, etc., and then go. It's driving a car. It's all of these things that we do daily. It becomes second nature. But again, it's down to leadership to say, what's that example? If the consultant's doing it, that team's going to do it. That junior's going to do it. And if they don't do it and the nurse complains to the consultant that your junior's not done it, you can imagine what's going to happen. But the action is to be taken now. Slight rise in MRSA or a slight rise in C. diff or any other HCAI, the action needs to be taken by that trust that day and now. It's not got to be hidden. It's not going to be, we haven't got the resources or any of that. And this is where the leadership comes, like Cheryl and others and other trusts that have made a big difference. The information's there, and those are good examples. We've got the Showcase Hospitals and others. And the benefits are enormous. I have a slide to say the benefits, your reputation goes up, the patient complains. There's a hospital in London that hasn't had a complaint letter on MRSA or C. diff because they're absolutely bare basic right down to the bottom. They're not wasting their energy on their experts saying, oh, have a look at these notes and what explanation are we going to give the patient, etc., or the lawyer. And what about a C. diff case? How much does that cost? Prevention is cheaper than actually having the cost of the infections.